I just witnessed a gun shooting.
A what, ma'am? Hello? Hello, ma'am, where are you?
It's Joe Maltzberger and 410 by the Chick-fil-A and Joanne Fast.
On 410 or Joe's Maltzberger? Ma'am, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Joe Maltzberger and 410.
Okay. What's going on?
A guy on the hood of a car that was driving, and they pulled into the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and the passenger shot his gun at the guy on the hood.
Okay. So, was the Chick-fil-A, was that on, it was on Jones Maltzberg? Was that inside or outside the loop, ma'am?
Was it the inside or outside the loop? Outside? It's like across, it's across from North Star Mall. It is. It's outside, just outside the loop.
Okay, because outside on Jones Maltzberg, right there, I'm showing hotels, and then the Hampton Inn, and the Four Points Inn, the Drury Inn.
Right, it's like in that center. There's a Joanne Fabric, there's a Perfect 10 strip club, there's a Chick-fil-A. There's some strip clubs.
Okay, so on Jones Maltzberg, you're Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Okay, and what kind of vehicle is it, ma'am?
What kind of vehicle was it? I don't know. It was like a black car.
Okay. And who did you shoot at, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
And who did you shoot at?
The guy that was on the hood.
So the guy on the hood didn't have the gun, it was somebody else?
It was a passenger in the car that had the gun and was shooting at the guy on the hood of the car.
Okay. And are they still in that parking lot?
No, we kept driving because we were on 410, and so we kept driving. I'm not going to pull into a parking lot where someone has a gun.
Right, no, ma'am, I understand. Could you tell what the guy on the hood looks like, what he was wearing?
It looked like a Hispanic guy with glasses on the hood, right? With like jeans and a white shirt. Yeah. And then there was an African-American guy in the passenger seat that opened the door and shot at them.
Okay, did he hit him, do you know?
They hit him? It looked like it. He was like right in front of him. I can't imagine he was dead.
How long ago did you see this, ma'am?
Just right when I called you.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, and do you know if they pulled off, or did they park and get out, or do you know what happened after?
We kept driving. They were parked in the parking lot when the passenger got out and shot at the guy on the hood.
Okay.
And then I don't know what happened after that. Because like I said,
you were going after that?
Well, we were getting on 410. So we kept going down 410, and I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I'm just trying to tell you that someone needs help because they're shot in the parking lot.
No, ma'am, I've already sent this over for us to the officer on the way. I'm just trying to figure out, what they all look like or where they went, or just so they can find them when they get out there,
I have no idea, but I can tell you that the windshield of the car is shattered because the guy, it looked like hit the windshield also. So
he shot through So he shot through the window?
Yeah, it looks like he hit the window when he shot him.
Okay, and it was a black sedan, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to leave your name? Hello, ma'am?
Hello?
Do you want to leave your name? Oh, you don't have to?
Okay, no, I'm just trying to tell you that someone needs help because they were just shot.
Okay, so did you see them get hit, though?
The guy was right in front of his face. I don't know how he would have missed. I wasn't in the parking lot. I was getting on the highway. I don't know what else I may tell you.
Okay, do you know what the gun looks like?
Oh my God, no, they're in a parking lot and getting on the highway. I have no idea what the gun looked like. It was a small handgun, not like an AK-47 or something.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Well, we're getting out there, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, welcome back to Trial Watch with Demetri. We're both on Lit Lane and in the Lit Lane jury box over here on Trial Watch with Demetri. We had a tech issue, but the court was on break. We're going to pick up from day 2 with the next witness taking the stand now. The trial is going on live. We're going to pick up from right where it cut off at. And thank y'all for joining. Double hit the screen for me, please. Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, let me go. Foot Soldier, Room Shaker, Tanya, Winter, the Beef Sector Podcast. Okay, I'm coming to the chat with y'all.
And then also speaking to that mic.
All right, if you can raise your right hand, do you solemnly, right, that's okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear.
Okay.
If you'll state your name and spell your last name, please.
Ana Delgado, Delgado.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thanks, Mom. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, doing good.
I think we spoke previously, but one, let me just ask, do you currently live in San Antonio, Texas?
Yes, I do.
And how long have you lived in San Antonio, Texas?
Like over 23 years.
23 years?
Something
Okay.
around there.
Well, let me take you back to about 7 or 8 years ago. Where were you working at that time?
Papados.
And what were you doing at Papados?
I was working, I was a prep chef. Yeah.
So what was your attire back then? What would you wear to work?
Chef coat, chef pants, non-slip shoes.
And would that be something similar to like a chef looking outfit?
Correct.
And let me ask you, on April 23rd, 2017, were you at work at Papados restaurant that day?
Yes, I was.
And at roughly 5 o'clock or so in the afternoon, were you still at work, or what were you doing?
I was already off of work, so my husband was picking me up from work.
And this Papados restaurant, where is it located here in San Antonio?
Off of 410.
And is there any intersections close to that?
It's McCullough and Jones Malzberger.
Okay.
Mhm. It's in between.
And so when your husband, you said your husband was coming to pick you up,
Mm-hmm.
and what kind of car did you drive, or did he drive at that time?
We had a blue Toyota Camry.
And did he pick you up that day in that vehicle?
Correct. Yes.
And when y'all left Papados, which way on the highway did y'all go?
We hit the access road towards Jones Malzberger, took the turnaround on the access road to McCullough.
And you remained on the access road at this time?
Correct.
And when you were coming up to the intersection, you mentioned McCullough.
Mhm.
What did you do there?
We were at a stop because the light was red.
And do you recall what lane you were in?
In the far right.
So far right lane?
Left, sorry. Left. Oh, wait. Yes, far right.
Far.
Towards the, what is it? Wait. The left side, sorry.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
It was far.
let's-
It was towards the hotel that I think it
Okay.
was a double tree.
let me do this.
I
I'm gonna approach.
haven't been over there in a long time.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, one, I just to let the jury and the court be aware,
Mhm.
your voice is a little, or you're sort of like the words are a little slurred at times. What type of procedure
I
did
had
you have?
dental work. I had 4 extractions and a bone graft. So I'm barely a week into post-op. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's why your mouth it maybe little slurred words or something
Correct.
like that. Okay, and that's about a week ago.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to show you what's been marked state exhibit number 3. And if you don't mind, can you point out on there where you were located when you came to the stoplight at that
I
intersection.
was roughly on this side right here.
On this side over
Mhm.
here. So you're pointing at that portion closest to the hotel side?
Correct.
And
Mhm.
so if we're looking at that, what side of the street would that be on?
It's gonna be on right.
The right side.
Mhm.
Okay, so just to confirm, you're right about here.
Mhm.
And that's where you stopped, and that's on the far right side closest to the hotel.
Closest to the hotel, correct.
All right. And when you stopped at this stoplight, were there any vehicles in front of yours?
Yes, there was.
For one, do you recall how many were in front of you?
Well, the one vehicle in front of me, just the black 4-door vehicle that was in front of us. Mhm.
So that's sort of why you're here today.
Mhm.
And you discussed this case with myself and other prosecutors at times. Is that correct?
Correct. Mhm.
Have you ever discussed it with defense counsels that you're aware
No.
of? Okay, or any of their investigators?
No.
Okay. Now, when you stop at this light, you mentioned a black 4-door car in front of you.
Mhm.
Do you recall how far you were from this car when you came up to the
Probably a
stoplight?
few feet away from it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would that be sort of like the normal distance when you're
Normal distance as you're coming to a stop right behind a vehicle. Mm-hmm.
And did anything bring your attention to that vehicle in front of you?
Yes.
Can you please describe to the jury?
The vehicle started like moving side to side as if they were playing inside the vehicle. So that's what caught my attention because it was just swaying. There was movement in the car. That's why I was like more attentive to that. I did see the back passenger side open, the door open. Then they closed it. They opened it again, and they pushed, which is the victim, out of the vehicle. Then they closed the door, so the victim was outside of the vehicle trying to open the door. He started yelling for help. He went around to the other side of the vehicle to try to open the door. They were all locked. So then the light turned green. The gentleman went to the front of the vehicle and jumped on the hood. Then he held on. The light turned green. Of course, the vehicle started moving. That vehicle started going, and it kind of sped up. It started maneuvering side to side to get the gentleman off. Of course, it didn't. He held on. I thought they were going to get on 410, but then they turned into Chick-fil-A. So, yeah.
Okay. And let me ask you this. When you saw this individual that was, I think you said pushed out, or, I'm sorry, that's not the, pushed out or thrown out of the
Thrown
car.
out, pushed out, yeah.
Do you remember if that was a male or female?
It was a male.
And do you remember his race, or was he Hispanic? Was he black?
Hispanic,
Okay.
yeah.
And when you saw this individual jump on the hood,
Mm-hmm.
you said he held on.
Correct.
How was he holding on?
On the hood, closer to the windshield. So, yeah, his face was facing the windshield.
And so what was he standing up holding on, or do you recall?
No, he was laying flat on the hood.
And so this vehicle takes off and then turns into the Chick-fil-A parking lot.
Correct.
And where were you when this vehicle pulled into the Chick-fil-A parking lot?
I was passing the park where they turn into Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
So I was passing as the vehicle was parked, turned into and parked right there in the entrance of Chick-fil-A.
And so your vehicle was on the access road,
On the access road.
and you, what would you classify your speed as? Were you fast or slow?
I was pretty slow.
And do you recall if you were with your husband? So do you recall if he was driving or you were driving?
He was driving, and I was on the passenger side.
And when this happens, do you continue down the access road, or what do you do?
As soon as the vehicle, turned into Chick-fil-A, as I was looking, of course, the passenger, the gentleman, the person inside the vehicle opened the door on the passenger side and stepped out, of course, half of the body, and just shot the gentleman. The gentleman had stood up on the vehicle already, on the hood.
Mhm.
And so he stomped his foot on the windshield, which is the victim, stomped his foot on in the windshield. He shattered it.
Mhm.
Then that's when the gentleman from inside the vehicle, he opened it, stepped out, and just shot him. That's when I saw the gentleman, the victim, fall off the hood. And then after that, I don't know what happened, because that's when I passed. And I turned into where that Jason's Deli entrance is at. Mm-hmm. And I parked in that parking lot
Okay.
behind Chick-fil-A.
I'll show you again what's marked state exhibit number 3. And you stated that you're on the access road. Can you show me on the map where you pulled in and said that you parked?
This one. So I parked back here.
Over here?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that where my finger is right there? Okay. So publishing state exhibit number 3. And I believe you pointed to right in this area right here.
Correct.
So you came down the access road, pulled in here, and ended up parking in this area.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you're parked in this area, did you ever see that black car again?
Yes. So I had parked already, and behind Chick-fil-A. Then I heard it peel off, of course, because I had my windows down. And I saw it turn the corner of Chick-fil-A. And as I saw the vehicle turn that corner, I saw something just fly out of the window. I don't know what it was or what it was at that time. And then it just sped off right in the front of us, and then it just took off from there.
And again, I'm going to go ahead and approach again because it's a little going back and forth. I'll get my steps in today. But can you point out to here where you stated that you saw the vehicle going? There you go. You can just don't mark on there, but go ahead and show.
So it spat off, and I saw it turn right here, and then go through here.
Okay.
And then come out that way.
Okay. You can publish it to the jury that you stated that you saw the vehicle from the behind the Chick-fil-A come this way. Is that right?
Correct.
And it goes out this
That
exit?
entrance.
Okay. And you said you saw something fly out of the vehicle.
Correct.
And do you recall where it came from in the vehicle? Do you know it came out the driver's side, passenger side, or do you recall that at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, going back to when you're passing by and the vehicle, that black vehicle pulled into the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and you see the who you identified as the victim standing on the hood, and then the passenger opens the door and leans out and shoots the victim.
Correct.
Which door opened on that vehicle?
The passenger side,
And it was a four-door vehicle, so would it be the front door?
the
or
front passenger side.
The front passenger.
Correct.
Now, were you able to, like at least identify whether that person was a male or a female?
No,
Were you able to identify whether that person was African American, Hispanic, or white, or any kind of complexion?
no, no,
Well,
not the, no, not the Hispanic or any, I don't know.
okay.
Mm-mm.
And for that matter, you gave a statement back then, a written statement, right?
Correct.
And it does not depict that you identified any race or clothing.
Objection, hearsay foundation.
I'll rephrase you on
All
that.
right, with regards to your objection, that'll be sustained.
Did you indicate anything in your written statement about the race of the person that was of the shooter?
Objection, hearsay foundation.
No,
No.
Oh.
No, that's fine. When anyone makes an objection,
Mhm.
just don't say anything, because I need to make a ruling on it, and then I'll make a ruling. And if you still want to know if you answer, I just ask them.
Okay.
All right. So state, if you'll ask your question.
Let me ask you, did you ever indicate whether you knew the race of the individual that stepped out of the vehicle?
Your Honor, that's the exact same question.
All right, so what's your objection?
Hearsay foundation. He's trying to offer it as a prior consistent to rebut claim of basic fabrication. There hasn't been a claim.
All right, so that objection will be overruled. You can answer the question.
no race. No.
No. And in your just previous testimony, could you determine whether the person was male or female?
Yes, there was, yes, it was 2 male in the front, and then the 3 persons in the back were 2 males and 1 female.
And let me ask you this, from your vantage point, how were you viewing the vehicle? It was in front of you, is that correct?
In front, correct.
And did you ever see a view of this vehicle from the side or any other view?
No, just behind.
And so even when you passed by at the Chick-fil-A, were you still viewing the vehicle from the back?
Correct, yes.
And how could you determine, say, the sex of these individuals by just viewing it from the back of the vehicle? Because let me retract that question. What could you see from the back? Like, were you looking through the back shield window?
Objection, compound question.
All right, that'll be overruled.
You can answer the question.
I was behind the vehicle, so I could just see the windshield, the persons from, shoulder length, and then the head, the face, not the face, but the head and the hair. So I determined it as in haircuts,
Okay.
hair, the body sculpture of the shoulders.
Okay. And did you I'm sorry, I have 1 second on. After you stopped the vehicle and then you saw the black 4-door vehicle exit, what did you do after that?
I called 911.
And you made an 911 call that day, and are you stating right after you saw the vehicle pass by?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And Judge, at this time, the state would like to publish State Exhibit number 9 that has been previously admitted.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
AK is best known for his hit song, The Race.
San Antonio 911, this is Xavier. Do you need police, fire, or EMS?
Police and EMS.
What is your
A
location?
guy just got shot right now.
What's the location? Current location?
It's on 410 and San Pedro, right over here.
410
At
San Pedro.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, at the Chick-fil-A.
Is it the one where the music store is at?
There's a TGI Friday.
Is it Sam Ash Music Store or something around there, or what?
Oh, I don't see it. Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
At the Chick-fil-A, right?
At the Chick-fil-A, yes. It was a black four-door family little car. I didn't get the license plate, but they left them right here. It started. Yeah. There's people here with them, but we need EMS.
Okay, stay on the line, all right? I just think it's some information. I'm trying to find a location.
I need you to park, Audi.
Where are they at right now?
Those four. It was like 5 people in that car. It was there was some girl and there were some guys in there. They started at the light as I was coming out of work, and they were
So
just
did they shoot at a vehicle or what?
No, the guy got off from the vehicle because they pushed him off at the light. And then he got on top of the vehicle and he started yelling for help. So I was like, man, and because I was driving, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't.
Okay, so the suspects were inside the car when they shot him?
Yes, and he got on top of
What
the
kind of
hood.
vehicle is it?
It was oh my God, I didn't even pay attention to the vehicle because everything just
Was it a
happened
black
so
car, truck, SUV?
It was a black car, 4-door. And there's probably right now 4 people right now in that vehicle. And
There were 4 people inside the vehicle?
he was, oh my God, they shot him in the face. He's dead. I'm sorry.
Where is he laying right now?
He's on the floor. Yes.
At the Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
How long
And
ago was
he
it when they shot him?
I'm sorry?
How long ago was it when they shot him?
I'd say probably like 3 minutes ago. And they stuffed some stuff in his mouth. Yeah, they stuffed the weed in his mouth. And he kept on screaming for help, and he got on top of the car, the hood of the car. There's still a pulse on him. Somebody's checking the pulse. There's still a pulse.
Which way did the vehicle go?
It went off on 410 on Blanco.
Which one? Eastbound, westbound?
Westbound.
Did you see what kind of weapon they used?
No, sir. I didn't think nothing of it, so I kept on going slow and straight. But they kind of Chick-fil-A and they just shot him, and I saw the gunshot. Like that's when I just turned into the other street, and I stopped because I didn't want them to see me.
So y'all are at the entrance of the Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
Okay.
right in the entrance.
Do you have any other information on the
A black
suspect?
Kia. A black Kia.
No, black Kia?
Yeah.
Are you by the person that got shot?
Right now, yes. Some other persons are here, and there are also witnesses to the vehicle as well.
What is your last name?
My last name is Delgado, Ana Delgado, and I just got out from the Papados.
The phone number I have to call back is the 210-602-8332?
Yes. Oh my God, hurry.
I got the call out for an officer to go out there. I'm just updating the call as we go, okay?
Okay.
Could you tell me if the people in the car were black, Hispanic, white? Were you able to see or no?
I'm thinking they were Hispanic. I believe they were Hispanic. But it looks like they were really beating him up. Honestly, he had bumps on his head.
So did you hear a gunshot or what?
Yes.
How many gunshots did you hear?
Just one.
Okay.
One.
Let me know when the officers get
Just
there.
one. They're right here. Officers here.
Okay.
Officers.
Go ahead and talk to them, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
essentially what's been marked as exhibit number 12. And you recognized what that is, a still photo?
Yes.
And what do you believe is shown in that photo?
That's where the incident happened. And that's my vehicle behind there.
And that would be your vehicle on the access road?
Correct. And that confirms on what had happened.
And previously, you had witnessed a video, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you identified your vehicle in this still photo behind, on the access road, behind a four-door black vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sustained.
Let me ask you,
Secretary, disregard the question.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should disregard that last question.
let me ask you this. Does this fairly and accurately represent April 23rd, 2017, roughly 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes.
Thank you. Senator Defense, we're asking you to enter into evidence, Your Honors. Senator Defense, for any objections?
Your Honor, I take a witness on a brief for Dyer.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, doing good.
You were shown State's Exhibit 12 a second ago, a photograph, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that that's a still capture from a length of your video, correct?
Correct.
The video shows lots of cars over the course of it, right? Is there any particular thing about this that makes your car stand out to us? I mean, is it difficult to actually see? Matt?
On the still, on that picture, it is hard to see, but on the actual video, you can kind of see. And it confirms on what I saw, what was happening on that day.
So fair to say this really doesn't very accurately depict what you saw on another image at a different time, right? It's just an approximation of it.
What do you mean? Can you?
You wouldn't be able to just spot, oh, that's my car based on this photograph, would you?
Not on this photograph.
You know, we would just object it doesn't fairly accurately depict.
Response.
Your Honor, she's testified that this is a still photo from a video that she witnessed in the entirety. But this time, we're not entering that video. We're asking to enter this portion for the trier of fact to be able to view this vehicle that she's identified as hers.
May I see State's Exhibit number 12, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, just
Sorry, Judge, I stood up. I'll sit down.
also for the record, Your Honor, what I would further say about my objection is that it's a fisheye camera photograph, and that's, I think, why it doesn't fairly accurately depict.
All right, State's Exhibit number 12 is admitted.
Thank you. Hey, I probably should. Showing the jury on the overhead the photo that you just described, and you're stating that this is your vehicle on the access road?
Correct.
And is this that four-door black vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. And is this there's an individual on the, is there somebody on that hood?
See the
Is that-
clear
Your Honor, I'm gonna object.
Well, what is your objection?
Well, the predicate was laid that this is a photograph of her vehicle, and now he's asking whether someone's climbing on the hood, implying that it's the vehicle.
Okay, so what is your legal objection, counsel?
That either she has no personal knowledge, or it isn't what the state purported it to be when they offered the exhibit. I don't know which.
All right, so, State, you may lay your foundation into both parties. If you're gonna use the elbow and you want, a witness to point to something, I'm gonna ask, because it'll be easier for the jurors, it's easier for the parties, if the person will step down. And whenever you have to step down into the well of the court, just remember to keep your voice up so that the jurors can hear as well.
Okay.
Now, with regards to your question, if you'll step down, please. They have something on the elbow, and then ask your question, make your objection, and the court will make a ruling.
Okay, now, I'm gonna ask you, whose vehicle is that right there?
That would be mine.
And whose vehicle is this right here?
That would be the gentleman, the black car.
Black car. And what do you view on that black car?
The passenger side of the front door is open.
Mhm.
And there's the victims
Okay, and where's the victim located at?
on the hood.
Okay, thank you. You can take a seat, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, may I briefly void the witness again before I make my objection?
Your Honor,
You can cross-examine the witness if the state is passing the witness.
I'm asking the witness one.
All right, the witness has been passed.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good.
You said that that photograph that you were shown was taken from a lengthier video, correct?
Correct.
That the prosecutor showed you?
Yes.
When did that occur?
During one of the interviews that I had.
Okay, and a moment ago, when the prosecutor showed you that photograph, he didn't ask you whether or not it depicted any other cars that you recognized. He only asked you whether it depicted your car, correct?
Mhm.
He didn't ask you, I'm sorry, ma'am, the reporter can't write down.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so he didn't ask you any questions about the car that's sort of in the top center of the frame until after the exhibit was admitted, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fair to say that you have greater context and the reasons why Exhibit 12 stands out to you is because you watched that whole video.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, under optional completeness, we would ask that the entirety of this surveillance footage be admitted contemporaneously with this so that it isn't so misleading, number one. If the court,
Well, just 1 second, he would like the entirety of the video admitted.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so they say they have no objections. Do you have a
a copy
video?
of it, if we could just have it admitted.
I don't know if y'all want to mark that as a defense exhibit.
Yes, please.
All right. And what number would that be for the defense? Two.
Defendant's 2. I had some. Sorry, Your Honor.
No problem.
That's still another things. You can take this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there's no audio on it.
And can I have parties approach, please? And sit here. All right, so the exhibit is marked defense exhibit number 2.
It's marked number 2, Your Honor. I will offer it in a moment. Now, ma'am, fair to say, at this moment in time, you would not have had an opportunity to see the things that are displayed in in States 12, right? Because you're behind that car that's depicted in the photograph, correct?
Yes.
So you can't say whether that's a fair and accurate depiction of what took place on the front of the car as you're driving past it behind the car.
Correct.
Okay. And to that point,
we hear on that 911 call that the state played of you, you say something to the effect of they stuffed weed in his mouth. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, I do.
But to be fair, you wouldn't have been able to see anything of the sort because you had already passed the car by the point that the man was on the ground, right?
Correct.
And you didn't see anyone stuffing weed in the man's mouth while they were in traffic, did you?
No, I did not.
And you didn't see anyone get out of the vehicle and run over to the man on the ground and put weed in his mouth, did you?
No, I sure didn't.
Okay, so when you say that on the video, that's not a present sense impression of yours. It's not something you saw with your own eyes. It's just what you assumed based on seeing a baggie of marijuana next to his body.
I saw the marijuana stuffed in his mouth when I went to go see the victim. So the marijuana was already stuffed in his mouth. I did see a little bag of marijuana next to the victim.
But as to how it got there, you don't have any personal knowledge.
No,
You could have eaten it for all you know.
maybe.
You indicated that you started to observe this situation when your vehicle was behind the black car in traffic, correct?
Repeat that again. I'm
When
sorry.
you were in traffic on the access
Mhm.
road, you were behind him. That's when you first noticed there was something going on.
Correct.
And you also indicated in your call that you weren't quite sure about the color of the vehicle, but then you heard somebody else say it was black, and that's what you tell the operator. Do you remember that?
No, I recall black vehicle, that it was a black vehicle in front of us. I just didn't know what kind of vehicle it
Whether it was
was.
a Kia or a Ford.
If it was a Kia or what, but I did hear other people around. Yes.
You indicated to the 911 operator that you were driving, but you said that your husband was driving.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not a major point, but do you actually recall which one it was?
My husband was driving.
Okay.
Yes.
So you noticed that all of the individuals in the vehicle were Hispanic, or at least that's what you thought from your vantage point?
At least that's what I believed.
Okay.
Yes.
And you gave a statement previous where you indicated you didn't know the race of the person who you believe was shooting the gun.
No.
But you didn't actually see anyone shoot, did you?
I saw the victim getting shot.
You actually saw him fall off the car
Correct.
from, as your car is speeding by, you were craning your head around to look.
I wasn't speeding by. I was slowly going, passing while that was happening.
And you saw him get shot in the face.
Not in the face. I just saw him get shot.
You told the operator that he was shot in the head. Do you recall that?
Well, because he was laying on the ground. I saw the victim laying on the ground. That's why I said what I said.
Okay, so you're basing the idea that he was shot in the head on what you saw after the fact,
After.
kind of like the marijuana part.
Yes.
Okay. You saw him kick the windshield of the car, right?
Yes, that I did.
And that happened as your vehicle was passing the vehicle parked at Chick-fil-A, right?
Yes. Everything happened so fast. As soon as they, turned into Chick-fil-A, the victim stood up and he stomped his foot on the windshield, shattered it. That's when the gentleman from the passenger side, the front passenger side, steps out. Half of his body, of course, just 1 foot out, leans over and just shoots him. And I just see him fall. And that's when, after that, I just pass. We enter where the Jason Stelly's at.
And you don't know whether there were other guns in that car or not, right?
No, I don't.
See one way or the other. Okay. You indicated that you saw bumps on his head, but again, to be clear, those are things you saw from when you went to go see the body in the parking lot.
Correct.
Okay. And you don't know how many times the man stopped the windshield, because that's all going on as you're passing the car.
Correct.
Okay. You didn't hear anything that the people were discussing or yelling in traffic, clearly, did you?
No, I just heard the gentleman asking for help, yelling for help. That's it.
You were listening to music, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You recall that you gave a statement previously to law enforcement and actually signed an affidavit about the events of that day. Do you remember that?
I was probably listening to music prior to that, and then of course I had rolled down my window because I can hear him yelling.
Yes.
Would you refresh your recollection to look at what you wrote with the police that day? I'm going to show you what I marked for identification as defendants 3. If we take a look here, is that your name, ma'am?
Yes,
And that's your correct date of birth?
correct.
Does this appear to be accurately the sworn signed statement that you gave to law enforcement?
Yes.
In 2017? If I call your attention to these sentences here, if you could just read them to yourself, don't read them out loud. Let me know when you're finished.
Yes.
Okay. So fair to say, you told the police back then that you were listening to music when you noticed the altercation, right?
Yes.
Okay. You indicated that the man that eventually you saw on the hood of the car originally got out of the vehicle, and then he was sort of running around in traffic to different doors of the car, right?
I didn't say running around. I said he was pushed out of the car, which is the back passenger door. He was pushed out. Then they closed the door. They weren't able. He was trying to open the door. He went to the other side to try to open those other doors. They weren't opening. That's when he jumped on the hood.
Okay, so he was moving around in open traffic while that light was red, trying different ways of getting back into the car.
Yes.
It wasn't like he was pushed out and he started to run away.
No, he got pushed out, but he was trying to get back in.
Okay. And it was after those attempts that he got on the hood of the car, right?
Yes.
And then he stomped the windshield.
At the Chick-fil-A, in front of the Chick-fil-A, yes.
Okay. The Did we approach him?
Yes. All rise for the jury.
I don't think anybody comes back with a sign saying it's me.
Erica Hernandez covering this for us, and she joins us now from the Bexar County Justice Center. So, Erica, how did each side lay?
Fighting to get it back. Robbed of his passion and fatally shot for fighting to get it back. That's how the prosecution describes what happened to Mark Anthony Saldivar back in April of 2017.
It is what we heard on the first day of the murder trial for Texas rapper Tay-K. His real name is Tamor McIntyre, and he was 16 when he was accused of killing Saldivar. Erica Hernandez covering this for us, and she joins us now from the Bexar County Justice Center. So, Erica, how did each side lay out their case here on day one?
Yeah, Myra. So for the state, they say Mark Anthony Saldivar was allegedly attacked by Tamor McIntyre and his friends as they were trying to steal his photography gear. But the defense says that there will be key eyewitness testimony that will be inconsistent and that they have evidence that will dispute the state's entire case.
How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
It's been more than 7 years since Tamor McIntyre was arrested and later charged with the capital murder of 20-year-old Mark Anthony Saldivar. Saldivar fatally shot in a Chick-fil-A parking lot right across from North Star Mall after allegedly having his camera equipment stolen.
He was an up-and-coming rapper that contacted Mark about this photo shoot.
Prosecutor Jason Garahan says inside the vehicle with McIntyre were 3 other people, and at some point they demanded Saldivar's backpack.
This man right over here pulled out a gun and turned around and started hitting with fist and also with the gun, telling him, "Give me your stuff, give me your stuff."
Saldivar, Garahan says, was able to get out of the vehicle and got on top of the car asking for his backpack. That is when he says McIntyre got out.
You'll see that passenger door open up, the front passenger door open up. Where this man over here was sitting with that gun. He leans out. He shoots Mark through the shoulder.
The defense says all the people in the vehicle will testify about what happened, but their testimony is not consistent, and there was never any evidence Saldivar even had camera equipment with him.
You'll hear testimony from one of the cooperating co-defendants, one of the accomplices, that the photo shoot that he just described had been called off, and that they were just giving this guy a ride. There's no camera recovered in this case.
The defense even implying they have ballistic evidence that doesn't match what the state has.
This conflicting evidence, it's worth the wait.
Now, testimony is still ongoing right now. You can watch it live. We are live streaming this trial on all our digital platforms. Coming up at 6, we'll have more on what this testimony that we heard from the first eyewitnesses is all about. Live at the Kennedy Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
That defense exhibit, and whatever its number it is that it had, all the camera angles of Chick-fil-A, so I just didn't want to mislead the court there. I did let them know that.
Well, he did. Up to this point, nothing has been offered. The relief I'm seeking is that the footage that is the subject of the still photograph the state offered is admitted through the rule of optional completeness.
So this is what I want. Somebody explain to me, what am I saying that is incorrect? Defense exhibit number 2. State, was that defense exhibit number 2, was that not the disc you had?
It was, Judge.
And did we label that, or I say we, but did the defense label it as defense exhibit number 2?
They did, Judge.
Did defense say that they wanted, and defense, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you wanted to enter into evidence defense exhibit number 2, the disc that was handed to you from the state under the rule of optional completeness. Am I incorrect in that?
No,
And then I called you all up to the bench and I said, are y'all sure? Do y'all need to watch this to make sure it is what everybody says it is? Am I incorrect in that?
you're not.
All right, so I don't know why I have to keep repeating myself with regards to that. And now defense is saying, actually, from the state's exhibit that became the defense exhibit number 2, we don't want the entirety of that video. We only want this portion. Am I wrong in my interpretation?
Yes, that aspect of
No,
it, Your Honor,
this is where.
All right, so thank you.
So this is
No,
where
it's wrong.
the jury is not in trial. I have to make sure with this setup when it's vertical. I thought I had added myself back to the screen. I hadn't. So anywho, right now they're not actually testifying. And then during the time when I was trying to get it back together, the actual channel I'm doing it from, their live went off. So I'm trying to see if they finna say something about dismissed for the day or what. We was running like 30 minutes behind them. So they might be on lunch. I don't know. Let's see.
Council, just to see if this is the correct footage. And then we can have the discussion
Sorry about that,
whether
girl. I was just
the
talking
court wants it
all
or
that
not.
time.
It's not whether what I want or
Well, then
not.
we-
It's whatever you all are entering into evidence. What I'm saying is that you all have decided, and when I say you all, I mean the state and the defense, y'all decided you only want a portion of defense exhibit number 2. Am I correct?
No, Your Honor.
Played.
The point that we are trying to make here is that the state offered a still photograph from a video. I asked that for optional completeness, the full video be entered. I'm given a CD with 3 videos. I don't know how to divide a CD into 3 pieces and have it still run on a computer. I didn't know what other option was available to me. I now realize I can take.
Are you available to come back tomorrow?
I would have to put in my date.
All right, we'll stay till you're finished with your testimony. Bring the jury in.
Your Honor, if we could just for one moment
You just
allow
cut
the
his
opposing
ass
counsel to
off.
see the exhibit we prepared so that we can actually effectuate this. I understand for the purpose of the record, the court's upset with me. The court's tone of voice indicates that. That's the demeanor of
Here's the
the court.
thing, number one, I'm not upset with anybody, I don't get upset with counsels. What I can tell you is I don't like people over talking me. I don't like people who are not listening to my ruling or people who are not accepting my ruling and continue to push that point when I've already made my ruling. So the record can reflect, Cindy, that the court is not upset with the state's attorneys. The court is not upset with the defense attorneys.
And I
Now,
think the
that
record
is
needs
what
to
the
reflect
court-
that
that
I
is
don't
what the
agree
court
with
is
the court's
saying.
interpretation of that. But that's just how I see
This
it.
probably
All
where
right,
I went
so
off.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back tomorrow. And the rule has been invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with
I'm glad I
anyone.
rewinded it.
You're not allowed to discuss or say anything about this trial until these proceedings are completed. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And if you'll leave your mic behind, please.
Judge, can you, I didn't know what time you told the witness.
We will be back tomorrow at 1:30.
1:30.
Yes, all right, thank you.
Child. I bet she finna get on that
See you all
ass.
back at 1:30, whatever y'all need to do with the video. You have until 1:30 tomorrow to have that done. Thank you.
Boom.
Thank you.
Damn.
Yes, 1:30.
And that's how you cut somebody off. And that's how you handle that type of shit. Okay. Period. All right, y'all. So as of for the day 2, we are actually running concurrent with the trial. The trial starts at 1:30 each day. I will be here streaming this trial. Okay. So yeah, he was very disrespectful for us talking over her, and y'all know that they tried to get her debarred or taken down from being a judge, talking about her YouTube channel and that she be posturing and stuff like that for the YouTube. Yeah, they better quit playing with her. I guess she say, I know you y'all on law and court trial. Don't be trying to grandstand and do none of all that stuff. Yep. So yesterday when we ended the live, only 2 other women people testified. I do want to show y'all a testimony from the real nosy one. Hold on, the one who was standing at the bus stop, child. Let me see. And then I'll let y'all go. So the most of y'all watch this on a computer screen, TV screen, or y'all phone? Let me know. While I pull this up. Let me know what device you watch this particular live on. And lives that come on this time of day, what type of device would you be normally using for lives this time of the day? Okay, this from yesterday. Let me show y'all that lady. Her testimony wasn't long.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony?
Okay, iPad, on phone, tablet, phone. Okay, cool. Because I know I didn't say this 1,000 times, but with the vertical live, that's how I got this background, the format, and everything set up for the vertical, and that's most of the time on the phones. I don't know if it come out like that on the tablet or not, but on the TV, if you're watching it from there, it do look small. Other than your phone, for only this one, other than my, okay. So it's working out the way I wanted to work out. Okay. Just checking.
Testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Just make sure you keep.
So this is the witness from yesterday before we go. This is the witness from yesterday that we left. The only one that was interesting to me that I wanted to make sure y'all saw. We got a recap from the last video. And what other thing I wanted to tell y'all? Yes, y'all just keep being patient with me, okay? At the end, it's gonna pay off at the end. You know, I want us to build a vertical live stream audience during the daytime. And that'd be for this type of content, and the daytime stuff over here will be on vertical. So that's what I'm trying to do. Bear with me through this whole process as we get it together and evolve over here. All right. Yesterday testimony. Lady at the bus stop.
Your voice up so everyone can hear. And if you could state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
My name is Hester E. Rogers. My last name is spelled Rogers.
All right, state you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Rogers, how old are you currently?
I will be 58 this July.
Okay. And where were you born?
I was born in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Okay. And do you currently live in San Antonio, Texas?
No, ma'am. I currently reside in Crescent Valley, Nevada.
Okay. And did you used to live in San Antonio, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. About how long did you live in San Antonio, Texas?
It varies. Throughout my whole life, I have moved down here. It's been 5 years or more each time that I lived in San Antonio, though.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you about April 23rd, 2017. So we've spoken about the case via Zoom, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so when I spoke with you, you had a chance to review a statement that you gave to law enforcement, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and regarding that statement, that was, I guess, you were taken down to the police station on that day, April 23rd of 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you met with a detective on that day, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so that detective typed out your statement for you, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
After you relayed the information to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then after that was completed, did you have a chance to review the statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you signed it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, may I approach the witnesses? And, you know, there's been some mention, I mean, this happened back in 2017, so would this statement help refresh your memory at any given point if you needed to refer to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm tendering what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 6 for identification purposes to defense.
Your Honor, our objection would just be that there's been no foundation that she lacks that memory.
It's, all right, that's gotta be overruled.
See, they started getting on Judge Boyd's nerves
All
yesterday
right.
early.
Now, I want to talk to you about the day, April 23rd, 2017. Do you remember what you were doing that day?
Yes, ma'am. I had actually been homeless at that time, and I was out flying a sign at McCullough and 410 Access to get money to try to have a place to stay that night. I just was standing at a bus stop waiting when I seen this whole thing go down.
And was that bus stop located at McCullough and 410 Access Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at some point while you were standing there at the bus stop, did a car get your attention?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to waiting.
Overruled.
You can answer the question.
Yes, ma'am. A car did get my attention. Actually, 2 cars that day got my attention.
Okay, so the first
another car had the gas cap open, and I just told them so they could shut it.
Okay.
But the second car was what really got my attention.
Okay, so that first car, you said the gas cap was open, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you notified them of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then after that, can you tell me more about the second car and why that car caught your attention?
Well, I happened to notice a bite in the car. You know, the front passenger was turned around and was biting somebody in the back seat, and I didn't know who it was. And then the passenger in the back seat jumped out and screamed help and was yanked back in the car. That really got my attention. It's like, wait a minute, somebody needs help here.
Okay, and regarding that vehicle that the fight was going on in, do you recall what color the vehicle was?
I believe it was black at the time.
Okay, and so do you know what the driver of that vehicle looked like?
She was a Hispanic female, and her hair was dyed blonde. At the time, I believe I saw her wear a white t-shirt.
Okay, and regarding that front passenger of that black motor vehicle, do you recall what he looked like at all?
I knew he was about a medium skin black guy that had about a 2-inch afro, and there was like a little blonde streak in his afro. He was brandishing a firearm at the time.
Okay, and so you observed this front passenger with a firearm in his hand, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so when you say that he was brandishing the firearm, can you kind of explain that to me? How was he doing that?
When he was turned around fighting whoever in the back seat, I could see him holding the gun up like this. And that's how I noticed he had a gun in his hand. I seen it through the windshield.
Okay, and in your demonstration, you're using your right hand. Is that the hand that the person was using to hold
Yes,
the
ma'am.
firearm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so when you say that their front passenger was fighting with someone in the back seat, can you kind of describe the motions that you were observing in that motor vehicle?
It was like they were swinging their arm,
Okay.
you know, and
Swinging
then they
their-
were holding the gun up.
Okay. And then you said that you heard the person in the back seat yell help, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection to waiting, Your Honor. I believe that was
With
that's
regards to leading that be sustained.
Move to instruct the jury to disregard the question and the answer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you'll disregard the question and answer for that last question and answer.
Motion for mistrial, Your Honor.
Denied.
Okay, and so when you were sitting at the bus stop and you're observing this, what you described as fight going on, did you hear anything from the person in the back seat?
When he jumped out the car the first time, he said, "Help."
Objection, hearsay, conference.
Yeah.
All right, that's overruled.
Okay, so he said help, is that?
Yes.
Okay. And after that, what did the person that exited the vehicle, do you remember what he looked like at all, the person that exited the back seat?
Just a Hispanic male.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure on details of features, but
No, that's fine.
I do remember him being a young Hispanic male.
Okay, and so when that person exits the motor vehicle, what does he do after he's yelling for help?
The second time he jumped out, it looked like he was trying to run away, and it looked like he had come from that back to go around the front of the car. At the time, the light turned green, and the girl hit the gas pedal, and he wound up on the hood of the car.
Okay, do you remember how he was positioned on the hood of the car? If you can't recall, that's fine.
I'm not quite sure. I don't want to state something that may be wrong.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so when that individual, that Hispanic male, was yelling for help, did anyone help him?
No, because nobody really saw but me.
Oh, okay. And once he ended up on the hood of the car, were you able to
Just
see?
one moment. Jurors, do y'all need a break? Anyone? All right, can I have a Chinese approach?
Sound like she needs a break. Dang, it's like they're just throwing people off the stand.
21. They were really young.
All right. We pass the witness now.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Rogers. How are you?
Okay, and how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I just have a few questions for you. You had just about a moment ago that nobody really saw what was going on but you. Do you recall explaining that?
Yes, the reason why I thought that was because I was right there in front of the vehicle. I was like maybe 20, 25 feet from the vehicle, and everybody else that witnessed it, besides the cars around them, were over in a hotel parking lot at least, I can't even guesstimate, further than 100 feet from the vehicle.
Fair to say you didn't see anybody from any other vehicle come to their aid?
No.
You mentioned that you saw another vehicle that day that had a gas cap that was open.
Yes, sir.
Did you notice the demeanor or the behavior of the people in that vehicle with the gas cap?
No.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention. I just let them know that.
Okay. You said that there were two Hispanic males in the back seat?
I believe so.
Okay. And just to be clear, you described the individual that you saw in the front seat as having an afro about 2 inches in length.
How long does the afro do supposed to
And
be taken?
there was a white or blonde streak on the left side of the man's head?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to, for vantage point's sake, are you, you're on the curb of the curb that would be next to the access road, right?
Yes, sir. I was actually at the bus stop right there.
Okay.
Because once you pass the light, you go up the access road. So I was right there at the bus stop.
Okay. And so from that point, you said you were flying your sign. Is that on the passenger side of this vehicle or the driver's side of this vehicle?
Passenger side.
Okay. So let's just say that I'm sitting at that bus stop and I'm observing this. Is the passenger's side car door, the front passenger side car door, directly in front of your field of view, or is it slightly off to this side or this side?
I would say it was slightly off to this side.
To the left?
Yes.
Okay. So
I was standing there able to face it, but it was one car back from where I was at.
One car back from where you were
Yes.
at. So would you say that what you were observing, you were looking at through the front windshield of that car or the side windshield?
The front windshield.
Okay. And again, you said a blonde or white streak in the man's hair.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also indicated that the man was holding a gun and you made a gesture, but I just want to get a sense, where was the gun barrel pointed when you saw the man holding the gun?
Straight up.
Straight up?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever see it pointed at anyone in the car?
Not in the car. Outside the car, he pointed it at the guy, but not in the car.
Okay. And when
But
you
she sounded like
indicated
she
that
saw
there was
everything.
fighting and swinging of arms, you made a gesture that looked to me like maybe you were indicating that a different arm was used for the punch or the swinging
Yes.
with the gun. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't think the gun was being held in the hand that was doing the swinging?
No.
Okay. You indicated that the gun was gunmetal gray?
That I remember.
Okay.
Yes.
And you believed it was a 9mm?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any experience with firearms?
Not really. My brother owned a 45. My cousin owned a 40. I mean, not really. Just what I've seen they have.
Okay. And based on that, just sort of anecdotal experience, it didn't look like a 45 or a 40 to you. It looked like
No.
a 9.
Yes.
Okay. So you know enough to know what a 9mm is.
Yes.
Okay. I noticed that you're wearing glasses today.
Yes, sir.
Were you wearing glasses on that day as well? Or did you?
I believe I was. I've been wearing glasses for a long time, since my 40s.
Pass the witness. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
No further questions, Your Honor, and excused by state.
Hold on. All right, y'all. So court is dismissed for today. Trial starts back at 1:30. We are in the process at this point in time of streaming the trial. Okay. So I'll catch you guys on the next live on this channel and be looking for an upload coming soon on one of them. Oh, I'm on both channels, Lit Lane and Trial Watch with Demetra. See y'all later.